Let's dive into the Deco Dream Shawl. The Deco Dream Shawl is my latest cast-off, and it was quite a quick process of getting the pattern written and tested and out to you because I was so excited about the process of knitting this. It was one of those shawls that started with a center motif inspiration, but I didn't know where it was going to take me. And once the stripes started being added to the shape, I was just couldn't stop knitting. I was so excited to share this pattern with you. So we did a quick turnaround on this pattern so you could knit it in time for autumn and winter knitting because it's a big size. So for the Deco Dream Shawl, you're gonna need 4 colors of fingering weight yarn. It works with contrast colors or also with gradient. I did a gradient with Watt Collection in this golden sample. And I had these yarns in my stash for a few years and they were just sitting there waiting to become the perfect shawl. And with this Art Deco inspiration, I was really inspired by these metallic kind of brassy tones in the architectural structures. So I thought these colors like Propolis and Olivia really brought out those kind of shiny, glimmering tones from the angular inspiration. So the beginning of this shawl is the center. So you're gonna start with these short row wedges, and I've done some similar motifs like the doodler, dotted rays had some short rows. So I return to these short row motifs again and again in different ways because they're so quick to knit and every little section is a bite-sized sense of completion. And as you're increasing in size, you'll be making a little small. This is the first one over here. You're making a little small wedge and then you increase more stitches and then you have a longer wedge. And then after working the short rows, you increase, or not really increase, you cast on. You do a little cast on boost in I-cord and then another short row wedge, a cast on boost, and they get longer and longer and longer towards the center. And originally I was thinking of maybe doing an asymmetrical to keep it expanding, but I did that in the doodler shawl, so I wanted something a little more symmetrical. So I was doodling and drawing these little ray formations on paper and came up with this final center motif. It reminds me of like a big palm leaf, kind of, like an Art Deco palm, like a leaf structure for the center. And then you'll bind off to mirror the motifs on the other side. So once I had that center structure formed, it was a matter of filling in the space and problem solving how to fill in those gaps with stripes. So lucky for you, I did the knitting and ripping and knitting, frogging, re-knitting to get just the right slope and scale along the edges. So you have these really simple garter stitch stripes interspersed with mohair mesh, short row, these eyelet sections. It's very lightweight, very ethereal, and those short row extensions give a really, really long wingspan, and I was really surprised. I'm really happy with the final shape because it doesn't go quite as a straight line like a lot of my other shawls. It kind of swoops out to here, but then from where I'm holding, it curves down a bit and makes this beautiful like soaring swoop on the wingspan edge. So instead of the wingspan continuing to go that direction, it goes and then it kind of curves and swoops down for this beautiful winged effect. And what I like about that swoop is the first little swoosh curves around the shoulders. So when you're just draping it on your shoulders like this, it won't fall off because it has that nice curve and arch in the center, but then the lines, instead of continuing in the way they were going, they're down and then they swoop out. So they really have this curvy flow. And I've never done a shawl exactly quite like that shape that kind of whoop, swoops out, but then back down. So I was pleasantly surprised that those short rows gave that very organic, curved wingspan edge. So you'll get a really long shape. So I like to just scrunch and wrap it around. So with just one toss around your neck, you're gonna get a really generous size. So lots of fabric draped with the color blocks, little short rows, a little bit of brioche here, and there's still plenty of wingspan to tie or wrap again. So it's quite a big size with 4 skeins of yarn and the mohair. Let's look at some colors and then some more stitch details for this Deco Dream shawl. I think this is my top 10 favorite shawls I've made, just with that mix of relaxing knitting and the stamp, like the very, like that effect when you see something and it just stays in your mind. That picture of the center motif and those bold stripes, it's just a really distinguishable type of architectural look to it. It looks really different from a simple dotted raise or a solid or a 2-color shawl. The multiple colors really can bring to life a certain story or a certain reference if you want to go more plant, lush, green themed, or you can go more neutral and stark with grays or just all neutral browns with the mohair color pop. So with the color stories, 4 colors is plenty to pick. You can go more contrasting with something light and a color pop. These are all in the warm family. And then the mohair, that could either be a color pop if you don't have it in your palette. I think if I didn't have this orange, I would have done a mohair color pop. But because of this palette, I chose a more neutral mohair to go with this set. 2 balls of glow hair. The lace weight glow hair will be enough for all of the mohair sections. And we have all these bundled up for you at Stephen Penelope if you want a pre-selected kit to knit with. Or you can stash dive and get single skeins and make a family of colors from sock yarns or single plies. This one's a bit more monochrome in the greens, but there's nothing soft about this with the lime green. So this will have these grungy green tones, this beautiful sagey green, and electric lime. And then I put the buttercup glow hair. In most of the kits, I chose the mohair to be quite a lighter color. Just with the mesh, that see-through effect with the mesh, it gives this natural lightness and airiness in quality with the mohair and the open work. So when you have a light color as well in mohair, that just exaggerates that floating. You don't even notice that it's there, but it's just floating in space with that fluffy mohair insert. And then it really contrasts nicely to let the darker colors jump out with the stripes. So I'd probably start with your 4 colors first. That's what you see the most in the design, and that's the important center focal moment. So start with the 4. If you like this effect that you're seeing, what works with this really well is the color family being all similar tones and that gradient from light to dark. So a gradient will give you this effect. And you could even go with grays. These are our cool toned silver grays in Westwool Hex. This one is Dutch Sky, Reykjavik, Canal House, and Architect. It's almost a jet black, but has a bit of this like charcoal, shadowy wash to it. So I never knit too much with just solid black, but I like the hand-dyed blacks that have a little bit of highlight to them. And then I put Fandango mohair with this set. One of my test knitters did this palette and I was stunned by just the simplicity of the grays and then that mohair as a color pop. It just absolutely soars with that saturated Fandango. One other option in a monochrome, kind of more similar color family, is in the pinks. You could go really light and airy with these cream, kind of peach colors, a little pop of pink, dusty rose, and I would do a light mohair. This is powder in glow hair. So 2 balls will be plenty for the contrast color, and then colors A, B, C, and D. You could go light to dark for that sequence, for that beautiful pink palette. What you're gonna find in the pattern is all of the color placement. So when you follow the pattern, there's a lot of photo tutorials of the construction. You'll be picking up stitches and seamlessly knitting the entire shape together. So after you work the first center motif, the stripes are knitted while being attached to the I-cord edge so that there's no sewing. It's all one piece, but with the modular multi-directional construction. And then the final border is attached, or not attached, it's just knitted and continued from the wingspan and the center section. And you'll find a brioche option in the pattern, and that's this version in the sample that I knitted, or a knit and slide with horizontal stripes will be an easier beginner-friendly option instead of the brioche. But you'll have two options to choose from there, and then these simple eyelet stripes with reverse stockinette stripes in each color, and then a little eyelet see-through lightweight mohair moment. It gives a very flowy, lightweight finish to the border and really lets it drape. And then I was figuring out what to do. I kept having more meters and more yards left over after each section. After each section, I thought it could be almost done, but I had about 40 grams or so remaining of my colors. So I'm like, I have to do some kind of border. So I did a variation on the short rows I use a lot in shawls, and this one's a scalloped little short row finish that gives a final decorative border to the shawl. And I like how those solid tones in the scallops echo the solid color blocking happening in the center. So you get some bold dynamic detail, the thicker stripes, a little bit more delicate, close concentration of color in the border, and then that final big exaggerated scallop. I think this could be quite amazing in self-striping yarns or a stash buster with like 12 colors. I mean, how many colors are in the center? We've got each color used 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 times, and that color A is used a 5th time. So 4 times 4, 16, 17. There's 17 total wedges in the center. Like you could do a 17 color version with your leftovers and scrappy yarns. That would be really cool. Or like a whole rainbow gradient in the center, or maybe rainbow gradient from red, orange, green, blue, purple, indigo, violet, and then reverse back down to blue, green, reds, oranges. That would be really beautiful to have a crescendo to the center and then mirror those colors for the other half. A lot of possibilities, and to help you with your own color placement in the pattern, you'll find this schematic. So this is going to show you all of the sections, and you could even use this as a coloring book to color in wedge 1, 2, 3, 4. If you want to visualize the yarns that you have in your stash, get some colored pencils, and this could help you, before you knit the whole thing, this could help you visualize where your 4 colors go, or if you want to extra customize the shawl with more than 4 colors, this is going to be your guide. Maybe you have a palette in the center, like bright color pops, but then maybe your wingspan colors are more neutrals. That could be really beautiful to draw more attention to the center with this decorative color pop center section, and then some shades of taupe, cream, maybe some silver tones for the wingspan, and then the color pops for the border again. So color in the shapes. There's 6 total sections written out in the pattern, and they all have different stripes and wedges that compose the sections. So use that guide. This really shows you the final shape as well. That swoop that I was talking about that arches around your neck and then flows with that wing effect. It's like Art Deco wings. So you'll find all these kits that I just showed. I'll put a link down below so you can check those out at Stephen and Penelope. There's even more colors, some blues, some other pinks, another green palette, and the original Walk Collection colors. If you want to knit one just like this version, we have a pre-order for the Walk Collection colors mixed with the glow hair. And you can place that pre-order, and in about a couple months, month and a half, couple months, we'll be shipping out those. That Walk Collection is going to dye especially for this shawl. So I hope you like knitting this modular component, this modular adventure. It's just one of those projects that's relaxing. You memorize some of the garter stitch sections and then keeps your focus with a different texture and some different rhythmic short rows. So check out the Deco Dream Shawl. The link will be down below on Ravelry or Westknits.com to get the pattern. And I'm just so excited to see what colors you choose. You can check out the test knitter versions to see some grays, some pinks, some blues, but I think you're gonna take it further and impress me with some awesome customized colors. So thanks for watching. There'll be more shawls and a knit along coming up later this year. So stay tuned and we'll have some more inspiration for you.